okayfm 101.7.
Na mame nkwana me kodi nkomo bi na me nsai emra na enkomo a me kodie no mene enkomo a me kodie no mene Owura Anis Haffar were board chairman National Teaching Council na yene no entwetwe enkomo emfa ensem bi a eho hia ema oman Owura Anis Haffar me mawo acheba okayfm so anopai me mo acheba okayfm so anopai aha ya ne betwe na asama watwe onie cabinet approves GATE education policy nti yene Owura Anis Haffar a board chairman Emma National Teaching Council betwe nkomo Owura me mo ache Obani me mo ache.
Yeah, good morning. What is it, Nana?
Me wo yo na so
Boko.
Yo. Asamoda the daily guide enim cabinet approves GATE education policy. Now we read this story now. We say after months of deliberation and consultation with stakeholders, cabinet has finally approved long-awaited, gifted and talented education policy aimed at providing specialized education programs for students with exceptional academic ability, creativity, or talent. Sagat, program Ben.
Okay, yes, any gates.
Gates.
Gifted and talented education. And no. Me started class 1. No. That was in the colonial times, though. Yena, ye will be the same thing. Or class 1, I bet you will be the same thing. Or class 3, I bet you the same thing. Or university, I bet you the same thing. Gifted and talented education is a lot different. Say, Japan, I won't panel one. I have from also a buono, or succeed in a particular way. And I'll give you an example. A real person. They say, no, so what you are? Yapaka say, education, yeah, oh, they make sure no. And it's like, Japan, say, what is the product that we can produce out of the education that we're getting? That's very important. And now say, what is a service that a person can provide with education that we need every day, no? And now what are the solutions to societal problems? And it's all, yeah, they just say, Opia wa be a sonko. In Tibet, I then want every individual to think in their own way. That is the thing. And now what you have to do, time is say, your opinion does not matter. I do know will be out. The school person here, no one also here. The teacher person will be and one person here. And in here, but also any people from council. So won't know what is it about you that is so exceptional. That between a boy a chrono. These are the things that we have to begin to look at now. But I'll tell you that GATE program no and you knew. I was teaching in California, the same school and Adutwum.
California, Los Angeles, Santa Ana, Anaheim,
It was all the school and Los Angeles Unified School District.
Oh wow.
And I was the coordinator of the gifted program. What it does is that Bamonia pay attention to everyone in the classroom and look at the things that are very special and unique about that individual. No? Into part of training in the same. So the things that kids have to learn on the regular basis, one thing mainstream, is one thing. But share anything that is special about this particular person and help them to succeed in this thing that is very unique to the individual. This is something, but frankly, time to say these things were not taught at the universities though. But now, they are mainstream in some universities.
Dr. Adutwum. One is California Schools Governing Board, no a member. And I wouldn't say our charter.
Yeah, well, new design school, yes.
Yes, ɛnyɛ me nwanwa sɛ yɛma mpɛn na adoda nkɔ akufo ado ɛbɔɔ ne din sɛ ɔmmra na his ingenuity ɛwɔ sɛ education na ɔmfa mmra ha ɛnyɛ me nwanwa.
Mekɔ mekye ne nka no mefiri Ghana kɔ ne school no new design center no on a street called Figueroa. Na the woman man here and say no charter school no woman shut up and say we don't want all the schools to be doing the same thing. But what they ask them to do is kwadana woman na community now as a woman brand ko bibiano. How can we bring them into the school system, teach them geometry, physics, chemistry, so that they can go to the universities and do engineering programs? Yeah, you know, it was so good. They got him to do another charter school in Watts, Compton. And what Dano near day, open so day, into Obahano, support a debate in the Amano, say, to introduce target program. About Boagan and Quadaso. I will tell you that. Miankasam Jinahe, after Koreans, Chinese, Indonesians, just name it. Ghana and Quadajino, they are just as good as any other country in the world. And yet, said you see, until now, no, we are what we call differentiated instruction. In other words, there are some basic things that everybody has to do. But not only that, there are particular things that individuals can do better than others. What is it that we're going to do to support them? And no, they say, Bibia, Abasu, I'll say, yeah. But the important thing is that, here's what I say, no, Obian without opinion that, and for Obian. They say, no, you pay attention to the that you want that person to be greater than you. We don't want to teach people to be just like us. We want to teach them to be different in their own right, because there's something that they have that can contribute to the overall success of the country. This is where we are now. And more be able to me, teachers, that is the next challenge. That we have what we call a critical mass of teachers are. They themselves are gifted in many ways, and we have to point these things out to them. That this is how great you are in a particular area. It doesn't have to be along the lines of chemistry and now physics and now whatever it is. But and no, these are the things that we are going to emphasize now.
Oh, okay. Nature says over teaching more. Yeah, said yeah, more can your pedagogy. And a hotness, they say, Adiana Kasawo. Now, the art of teaching or the science of teaching, no, you better say, Aquala way, apart from the normal teaching, no, a dear Benny, one we must bring it out. Said the Latin word, educare, ekra, and say, bringing something out of the person. A bet me abwa na ebe na brabono. Na mamimre, sa policy we know, how would it be rolled on?
William, listen, I can tell you how other countries are doing it. In some countries, they are what they call gate schools, schools that are for gifted and talented education. And there are other places now. There are gate programs in each of the schools. William, you can have a gate program geared towards those who are studying physics, for example. A gate program towards those who are good in mathematics. A gate program who are gifted, who are defined for cultural activities and all of that. But the most important thing is that, as much as possible, we have to make sure that it's understood, and begin to now look at it in a way where it's accessible to as many people as possible. You know, what I'm suggesting is that every school should now be in a position to define for itself what gate means to them. Oh. And then there can be broad guidelines, because we don't want to have all the schools doing the same thing. Every school has to be different in their own way and define exactly how they want to be different and show the results of their difference. Now, having said that, also, there's something that we call differentiated lesson plans. What it means is that that is similar. However, we want to make allowance for doing things that are different for particular people. We don't all have to think the same way. education systems since we have, everybody is thinking the exact same way. Exams are you are producing the exact same results and so on. We're going to have that. But in addition to that, there's something else about the human being, because you'll be surprised. They are different. Even if they are two identical twins, they think differently. So the challenge now is how we're going to encourage everybody to begin to think for themselves. What is a thought that is so unique to you that can make a difference in society? These are the things that we should be looking for now. Hello?
Yeah, Papa. Now, Mammy, we no, a best start to school to be.
In America, sir, it depends on how it's structured.
Okay.
It can happen in every school that is designated for a GATE program, or it can have a GATE school in itself. And yet, maybe also they get too much. Every school, and for example, now what I think is that the teachers in every school have to get together, begin to understand exactly what the new expectations are, and for them to be in a leadership role to define exactly what GATE means to them, what giftedness means to them. But at the end of the day, let me make it simple for you. So, normally you're saying, the first question is this: what is the product that we can produce as a result of it? Are you with me? What is the product that we can produce? That's one. Number two, you say, what is a service that we can produce that will make other people's lives easier? Education is saying, what are the solutions to societal problems? Solutions that are new. And everybody has to take it upon themselves to meet that criteria. Education. Yes.
Me fan set me director or say Kwame Despite. Nebia oyakola. Sabre no oyakola no. Uhwe na utim se or this special talent. Wobetimi ayewe, wobetimi ayewe, ono kra no a business and na uhwe nyame ede ama so that we develop it. Bibi Sambwa.
Yes.
And na me wan be so Europe. And say he or she is excommunicated from school. And no, wow, child, Yamakoye assessment on the child, fee. If you walk cry, Yamako child, my dear fee. Not Yamoma who area or your good to say, can say, you be more be robotics, you be more you be a destiny, more distant. Now, what develop to become someone important in society. It is school sana beba mpachombwa.
Exactly. William. If you have just like that, he's very unique. If you put him in a particular class to do exactly what adults want him to do, it will be difficult for him. In fact, there are children like that at school because they don't see themselves participate in it. That will satisfy their inner soul. That's one. And then we have to Richard Branson, because the way they were taught to them did not commensurate with their natural abilities. People getting their sanity. Then go to me now. They are very unique people. Into you can't mainstream them. Say class 1 son also here, class 2 son also here. Somewhere along the line they get tired because there's something innate in them. It's a 2 point to be. And Kwadana you see they don't see Opia say. First, only a percent Kwadana teachers and I say. They say no normal than or the teachers say Kwadana say. Say, every morning, who are they? What is it that I can do that will help them to realize their own inner potential? That is the one. What we say the normally say as a son. And to know yourself, read chapter 4 and answer question 3 and 6. And then read chapter 7 and answer question 2 and 3. All of that is very good. But in addition to that, there's something that we call differentiation. Get an Amaya to convince me that this person thinks a particular way in which I can help him to succeed in a big way. This is where we are now. And I'm glad, sir. Not only that, even if you look at the Ghana Education Service syllabus right now, there's something that we call the profile dimensions. Yes, chew, pop, pass, and forget. What Some the mawa, no one memorizing no what produce, no one certificate, no one else, But there's nothing that you can do with that information because you just memorize it and reproduce it. However, information and what you here in your own way, that is when you can begin to apply it because it makes sense to you in a way that might not be peculiar to other people, but it's very peculiar to you. We have to now begin to embolden our young people. We look at the millions of school children in Ghana who go back and forth. Frankly, do we know who they are?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what they are capable of?
No.
Besides the academics, because academics offer, maybe a tianity. It will have to change things a little bit so that whatever inner potential people have, it can be realized in a way that will become big for others, so that it can help the whole country. And the other thing I say is that what do we do that will make the lives of other people easier is the best thing. What is that you can produce that will make someone's life easier? What is a service that we can produce that will make another person's life easier? And the most important for Ghana, how do we begin to add value to our natural resources? All of that has to mainstream in our education. The young that is the issue right now for the country.
I see. Papa, na mami Musa, we ebesha said that bay.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I have to find out how because I know that it's become part of what we call inclusive education.
Sure.
Inclusive education means that there are some people like if you don't bring them in and make them value their own contribution, they will not be part of it. Some will not. And couple of 40 a day now, some of them are gifted, we don't know. But now we have to begin to understand how this is going to be done. It's come out in the papers now, but I'm sure there's a plan to make this happen. But like I told you earlier, we want to make sure that every school district has an idea of what it is that we're looking for. But the most important thing is not a one-man show. We have to let every school, every learning community begin to understand that there's something called gifted and talented education.
Okay.
We let them know exactly what it is and what they themselves can also do to promote it.
Okay.
And one-man show. Every teacher has to come on board and so on. These are the things that we want to look for. What is it that we can do with the children that we're educating so that we bring the best out of them? Exam scores are one thing. But what people do with their proficiency, exam scores now, what is it that we can do to make this country a better place for all of us?
Yeah,
these are the bigger issues, not only for Ghana. Every country is grappling with it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that finally it's landed in our lap at home.
To say you identify each child apart from so school way a day in the one unique.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Part of the assessment, also comes from the parents. Parents, come to a school and say, me room did you want sir, and be able to relate to the teacher. Say, and so on. So remember this: parents are the first port of call. What would you want manager will be? What teachers would do is to complement the parents' observations, so that we begin to work together. These are the things that we have to do. Now, the other thing I also want to mention is that children model their parents. Inti embra ni subina parents born. I don't think here pa. Until now, we don't want to look at our children as outside of ourselves. We have to learn to collaborate. You know what more a genuine fear. Yes, parents don't want to die. One year decisions for the children. Like the United Nations will say, we want children to have the right of participation. Say, decisions are painful. In Korea, also can be. One can decisions, no one will say, one more regional in here. Yet, in Pedro one and Yim Pedro will bring you to a certain level. But after that, we have to empower young people to be able to think for themselves. That's the most important thing. Me, personally, I hardly make decisions without consulting my children. Because they think a certain way. and then we'll live in a better society. This is the issue right now.
Now, I remember said besides agitating, we no teachers no enrolling now these program policy no. One special exercise be aside the normal learning.
Let me tell you this. Education is lifelong. It never stops. And it's dynamic. I'm 77 years old. But me younger than any other time in my life. Because there are new things happening all the time. And so what's not now who we are. In fact, we are grabbing on this more. Because as you settle one particular area, something new and fresh comes along. That makes the old method ridiculous. Now, frankly, I'm looking at every teacher in this country. At time, life was very difficult because you don't have access to any information except Utri and Obia Culture. And also Utri and Ochimekotobukibi. Now, all that has changed. If you go on Google right now, it will give you an idea of the various gifted programs across the country, across every country. And then we have to be in a position now we can be selective of all the things that are being done in the world. This is what can be peculiar to me. And these are the challenges for teachers right now, that we have to be dynamic. We have to, especially if you look at the new competencies in the syllabus now, lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is very important. And then digital ability. We cannot live in the 21st century where everything is digital and we are analog. We can't do that anymore. And everybody has to be up and rising because things change. Nothing stays the same. Things are changing in very drastic ways, which can be complementary to what it is that we do for this country. And it doesn't matter how old you are. Sometimes you talk to people and say, I have finished. We never finish anything over. The day we finish, the day we are dead and buried, and then we are finished. But in the meantime, we react at the time. We know how the world is changing. We go on Google, we go on the internet, every information under the sun is there. So now what we have to do is to prep ourselves and realize that if you have a mind and you don't use your mind, you will lose it. And no, as Antoba can say, I didn't know you say,
Sabi,
and we don't want that. We are too important to be losing our faculties. And in fact, even where a time comes where people begin to be forgetful or develop Alzheimer's disease and that sort of thing, and that's a dementia near the end now. Let me tell you this. Oh, Professor Nketia.
Kwabena Nketia.
He studied till the day he died. And he was sharp.
Professor J.H. Kwabena Nketia.
Thank you very much. And my headmaster, Francis Vattel. They are even at the age of 100. The man was telling
Professor Nketia taught me you.
Anthropology.
Anthropology.
Every time the other man is studying, he's doing something with what he's studying. Maybe the same thing. Oh, to say though, now if you say you read nothing stops. Lifelong learning is something that has to be the front and center of every person's mindset. The reality will not stay the same for everybody. And what is it that we can do so that we enhance our own ability to think thoughts that have never been thought before? These are the things that we need to commensurate in this country. And I'm glad that we started. Now, Udim, I want you to do me a favor.
Okay.
Send me a note on WhatsApp.
Okay.
About this discussion, because there's other information that I can give you to support some of the things that you want to do.
Okay.
Matthias. Send me a
Shakespeare can say, William Shakespeare can say, never be a slave to your conscience. Was it the learning?
No. Your conscience, you have to define it so that it brings the better angels in your nature.
Thank you.
That is the conscience.
Thank you.
Your conscience can come in a raw form, but we have to model it so that our superior angels begin to show in our personality.
Sure.
And then it will make you a human being that you never thought you were possible I'll make it possible for you.
Sure.
Okay?
Thank you.
But having said that, Bomodi, I'm sending your WhatsApp. Why? Put your name and number on it so that we can begin to communicate. Because there's a lot of information that I can give you along the same lines, which we can discuss at this time, all the way together.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yamisha, why? God bless Ghana, homeland.
God bless you too.
I will tell you this. Ghana is one of the most beautiful countries in the world.
Yes.
But we don't seem to see it. Because we don't see people adding value to it in a certain way. Some are to look at Ghana as one of the most productive real estate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Papa, di Nkomoyi. Nkomoyi is so thought provoking.
OKFM 101.7.